Okay, so we'll play a small game. How will Trump deal with this issue, and how should Trump deal with this issue? And I'll say the issue, you give me the answer. So, how will Trump deal with US dollar, and how should he deal with US dollar?
Trump will try to do the impossible, which is to have tariffs, to spend a lot of money, to borrow a lot of money, and still have the dollar go down because he likes the idea of the US being competitive. It's impossible to do those. You should deal with it. My view has always been the US should pursue what it regards as the best economic policy for it. The value of the dollar is a price. Whether it goes up or down is largely irrelevant, and sometimes it'll help exporters, other times it'll help importers. The US president should not worry about that. He should do what's good for the economy. The dollar will end up where supply and demand place it.
How will Trump deal with crypto, and how should he deal with crypto?
I think he should have a more benign attitude towards it, with the exception of cracking down on crime, and I suspect that he will. I think that this is an area where the Democrats, again, made a mistake. Why did they come out so strongly against crypto? You know, there are 50 million people in America who own crypto, and they came out against it. And who is on the other side? You know, if you think about this in political terms, what is the constituency of people saying, you know, we need more regulations on crypto? Nobody. Most people don't care. 50 million people who own it feel one way. Why are you taking a position?
Okay. How will Trump deal with, and how should Trump deal with Iran?
He will try to exert more pressure and maximum pressure, all the things he said, which is, I think, basically the wrong approach. We already have lots of pressure on Iran. We should maintain a certain amount of that pressure. But we have to have a serious strategy towards a country. You have to also have some carrots for good behavior. You also have some, if there's a box which has 4 walls, no windows, and no doors, you give the Iranians no incentive to in some way moderate their behavior. So, that's the problem here with Iran right now. Where should it go? What is the, if you were a rational Iranian statesman, where do you have incentives to go? And the broadly speaking, the right in America, but Trump in particular, have this policy which is, kind of a fantasy that we just put this pressure on. The Iranian regime will collapse and Thomas Jefferson will rule Iran. That's not going to happen.
What will he do, and what should he do with regards Israel-Hamas?
I think that I would distinguish between what Israel is doing in the north, in Lebanon, and with Iran, where I think it's reestablishing deterrence in a very important and valuable way. The Iranians have been getting away with murder in terms of lobbing, through Hezbollah, these missiles at Israel, terrorizing the population in northern Israel. Completely unacceptable, deeply destabilizing. The Houthis are doing this in the Gulf, diverting shipping. The Israelis are doing the right thing in reestablishing deterrence and stability. I think in the occupied territories, I think he should work towards a 2-state solution, which he will absolutely not do. So I suspect he'll do some version of what I'm recommending in the north, but in the occupied territories, it'll actually be the opposite. I suspect that the Israelis will de facto engage in more annexation of territory in the West Bank, making it even more unlikely that there will be a Palestinian state, which is very sad.
And so what should Trump do, and what will Trump do with regards to Saudi?
I think what he should do is tell the Saudis, let's make a deal with the Israelis, but let's get the Palestinians a pathway to statehood. I think he will try to make a deal with the Israelis without the pathway. He'll say some rhetorical gestures towards Palestinian rights, greater autonomy in the West Bank, something like that will be enough. And the Israelis would be much happier with that than anything from. So that's why, again, all the leverage lies with MBS, because, ultimately it's his decision. The danger for the Palestinians is what MBS really wants is the deal with the Americans, which Trump can deliver to him, right? So for MBS, if he gets American security guarantees, maybe he'll relax on the Palestinian issue.
Taiwan. What should Trump do? What will Trump do?
I think he'll follow the Biden policy, which has been very, very strong and consistent. And by broadly speaking, American policy has been the same on Taiwan, which is do everything you can to deter the Chinese from attacking, and do everything you can to deter the Taiwanese from declaring independence, because that would trigger a Chinese attack. It's a very difficult balancing act, but there's no way around it.